Hello, everyone. This is Damien, and welcome back to the Options Professor podcast. Today is Friday, August 7th, and the markets have closed for the week. This podcast is to go through the trades I made this week and to review how I did, good or bad. And so, if you remember on the Sunday podcast, we did have a pretty sizable list, good stocks that were potentially going up, some couple stocks going down. And I'll tell you, when Monday happened, we were looking at the SPY already up. And so because it was already up, it was difficult for me to get into any of those trades that I called out in the watch list, because we were already trading, opening up the SPY at about 329. And as you can see, the move in the SPY just went straight up for the entire week. So really no time to get into some of those stocks that I'd seen and the levels I've seen, because by Monday they had already blown out. I did get into one from the stock list, and we'll talk about from the watch list, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's take a look at the one loser that I did have. I know nobody likes to talk about losing trades. So this week I made 7 trades, and of the 7, I had 6 winners and 1 loser. And let's talk about the one loser that I had this week. And I'll give you a preview of what's coming up with the winners. I did have a 77% winner this week and a 55% winner this week, a 31% winner, and a couple of 20% winners. Okay, so it has been a really good week for me, but let's focus on the loser. And really, I don't even think it's that bad of a loser. So yesterday, what I decided to do was buy an SPY 332 put. And I did that yesterday, simply because the market was just going higher. And really no indicator. I was looking at the ADD divergence with the SPY. I can get into that, but honestly, I needed to have a hedge because a lot of my positions were bullish. And if this market had turned down, I wanted to have some protection. And so my one loser was really a hedge. I didn't lose too much on this. I think I had about $600 in this trade. And so my one losing trade was a $600 loser in an SPY 332 put, which really was a hedge for me. Okay. So there you go. Got the loser out of the way. Now let's move to the winning stuff. And I'm going to move with the one stock that I was able to get into from the watch list Sunday, and that was Spotify. And so Spotify, don't know if you remember, but I had called out some very specific positions, and the 265 level was my resistance at 265. And so what I ended up doing was selling the 265 call and structuring this trade so that I could make roughly 21% in profit. All Spotify had to do was stay below 265. And Monday, Friday it closed around 255. And I was hoping that Monday it would stay around the same so I can get in it. It did give me enough breathing room Monday so that I could actually sell those calls on Monday. And then it just kind of moved down and sideways through the week. So this one expired worthless. I collected 21% in profit credit up front, and it just expired worthless. And this is the only one that I actually got into from the watch list. Everything else I had to rescan for either Monday or Tuesday and get into positions. Another trade I had, obviously winning, was MasterCard. In MasterCard, I was looking at support at 305. So Monday, when this thing opened up, it still jumped. Friday, we closed at around 310. And Monday, it jumped up to 311, 312. And when it came back a little bit to 310, I ended up selling the 305 puts. And so it was just above 310 when I sold the 305 puts. And it just started to drift a little bit higher for the first 2 days, Monday, Tuesday. But by Wednesday, it had already jumped up to above 325. And then I didn't even have to watch it. There was no chance it was coming back to 305. And so this is another trade I'd structured 21% profit on, and it expired worthless. So I was able to get for a 305, 300 put spread, I collected about 85 cents. Okay. So that worked out to about a 21% winner. On 10 contracts, that's about $850 in profit. All right. I did a short trade on XLNX. And the reason why I got into this trade was because they're a chip company. AMD has been on a tear. NVIDIA looks pretty good. And this was really short term. So right around Tuesday. So Tuesday, the stock started to float up from about 107 to 108. And as it was making that small move, I ended up buying 106 calls. And the next day it made a pop up to 109. And when it made that pop up to 109, I was able to sell my 106 calls for a 31% winner. Okay, so just a quick overnight, bought the 106 calls, which were already in the money. And as it jumped up to the 109 level, I got out here for a 31% winner overnight. Okay. That's one of the very few straight long calls that I've entered and have done, but it worked out in this case. I had a Zoom. So Zoom, I was in from the week before. And so the previous Friday, a week from today, it was trading at around 252. So it's trading around 252. And I thought that it was going to hold really the 50 moving average. So if it held the 50 moving average, I thought that would be a good line of support. So by end of day Friday, I had sold the 245 puts. So I did 245, 240 spread. And I had structured this in a way so that I was going to set myself up for, maybe $1,000 winner, or about 35% on this trade. And when Monday happened, it just took right off, landed at about 270. So we went from about 252 to 270. And then from here, I took profit. So I was able to take this spread off the table and lock up another 27% in one day. So 27% on Zoom for another $1,000 in profit. That was a good trade. Now let's move into some of the bigger percentages that I made money on this week. And one of those was Workhorse, WKHS. And WKHS, I was in from the week before. It was something I was watching at the $16 level as support. And as you can see, it did dip below the $16 level a couple times last week, which had me worried, but I still held on to this. So I had sold the $16, 16 and 15 spread for 45 cents. And in a dollar wide spread, that is a 55-cent risk. And so pretty high risk reward, but I was right at the money. And obviously Monday when it opened up, it jumped from $16 up to 17, and then Tuesday up to 19. And I thought I was good for the whole week. Maybe I could stay above 16 and collect credit, but it kind of drifted down, which got me a little scared. And by yesterday, we were still coming down close to 16. When it crossed the 50 moving average and it just touched it, I got out of it, and I took a 55% profit on this trade. So obviously 55% is great. I was willing to give that up and give it back. And so I got out of this trade a day early to collect 55% profit. And then the last trade I was in, my biggest trade for 77%, is a debit spread on Costco. And Costco moved pretty quick, a lot quicker than I expected. It would. So Monday we opened up, and when Friday it closed, it was right around the 325 mark. Okay. Monday, when it opened up, it started to move from 325 up to 330. And as it was making the move up to 330, I could see that 330, it hit 330 a couple times over the past week and resisted that price level. And so I thought 325 would be a good level to get in, and the 330 was going to be a good level of resistance. And so I wanted to play this range. I ended up buying the 325 call and then selling the 330 call for a debit spread, $5 wide debit spread. It cost me $2.70 for that spread. And when it took off Wednesday up towards 340, and then I managed to get out of it here for almost a full profit. I ended up selling this for about 470. Okay, so not a bad move over one day. I managed to collect 77% in profit on this debit spread. Overall, a really good week for me, minus that one hedge in the SPY. I think a lot of these, for the past 2 weeks, the credit spreads and the debit spreads have had 100% winners in all those trades I've been able to make. So looking forward into next week, we'll see what stocks I'll be able to find Sunday night. Tune back in Sunday if you want to see that watch list. And if you have any questions, drop some comments below and hit that thumbs up button. Thanks for tuning in.